Hey now, what is up everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka ReviewKingMB, and I am here to talk about and review Die Hard. Yes, as you can see, this is the ultimate complete collection, but I am talking about the original. The classic Die Hard is a 1988 film, the year I was born. It was directed by John McTiernan, and the plot is we meet John McClane, who's played by Bruce Willis. And John McClane is a New York cop who is coming to LA, California to visit his wife, estranged wife, and his kids for the holidays. She works at Nakatomi Plaza, this Japanese company. And when he goes to the building, almost as soon as he goes there, these terrorists come to take over, to take hostage the whole building. And it seems like they're just there to cause chaos and destruction and kill people. But Hans Gruber, the leader of the gang, reveals that he just wants money. I'm talking like $600 million worth of money. Makes sense. So as the cops and everybody's trying to deal with it, John McClane by himself tries to stop them and deal with this once and for all. Now, what I think of Die Hard is I love this movie. I love it oh so much. I'm going to spend the next few minutes gushing over this movie, seriously. Let me first set the record straight. The record that this movie is indeed a Christmas movie. I almost want to stop and yell and talk to the people who don't think this is a Christmas movie and ask them why. Why don't you think it's a Christmas movie? It takes place on Christmas. There's tons of Christmas music in this movie. Just because it's rated R, just because it's an action film and people die and whatnot, doesn't mean it can't be Christmas. I love watching this movie at least once a year on Christmas. It's my favorite Christmas movie, if not one of my favorite action movies of all time. Now, John McClane might be Bruce Willis's greatest role, greatest character, greatest performance. This might be his best movie. There's so much good with this character because he's so charismatic, he's so witty, he has so many great one-liners, just comes off naturally too. And I love how he's just a guy, right? Yeah, he's a cop, so sure, he's well trained in certain areas, but at the end of the day, he's just a guy going through marital problems just like possibly anybody. He wants to see his kids, and it's the holidays. And when you see everything go down, he's going through this whole movie, all of the chaos, all of the action, he's going through it barefoot. He didn't even have time to switch his shoes, put new shoes on. Like, you see him constantly running around. Even scenes where he's getting shot at and there's glass everywhere. He steps in the glass and he's bleeding all over the place. He's getting shot. Like, this guy is a real person. And you see that he's battered. You see that he's bruised. You see that he's been through hell all the way at the end of this movie. That you can't help but love this guy. You can't help but relate to him. The fact that he's still making jokes or still having fun as much as he can, whenever he can, because there's so many times where he's trying to like call out to the cops and whatnot, and they're being dicks, they're not responding in the right way. I have to talk about Alan Rickman as Hans Gruber, because as much as I love John McClane, as much as he's one of the greatest of all time, Hans Gruber might be one of the greatest, like top 5 best movie villains of all time. Not just because Alan Rickman is so great, just how he plays the character. He comes in, he's suave, he's smooth, he has a smirk on his face because he knows what he's going to do, and he knows that it's going to plan. But he also has this quality of being likable. As much as he's doing deplorable things, as much as he's doing things that shouldn't be liked, you see certain scenes with him and it's just like, yeah, I want to be Hans Gruber. Like the moment where he goes and takes the owner, the boss of the building, and he shoots him in the head. I remember being a kid first watching this movie and seeing that part where he shoots the owner in the head, and it looks so real. The effect still holds up. It's gruesome, it's bloody, and that was like my first realization as a kid that, like, wow, you can shoot somebody in the head. That can happen, and it will kill you. I like the scene where he's talking to McClane on the walkie-talkie, and they're going back and forth with each other. And I love how when he finally does realize more about McClane, he calls him a cowboy, and that's where the infamous line, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!" I love so many quotable lines, so many quotable moments. Even the part where Gruber comes into contact with McClane face to face, and McClane has a gun on him, and he cowers and he pretends to be just a hostage, and he puts on the American accent. Like, he's so good, he's so calculated, he's so few steps ahead of everybody else. Even moments where things might not be going his way, like, he's like, it's okay, we're gonna stick to the plan, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. He's so smart, he's so in control the whole time. You get his gang, which is filled of like these European guys. They all have accents. They're all big and tall with blonde hair, and they're big and imposing, physical threats for McClane, but they all have distinct personalities to where I can remember them. I can remember Carl. I can remember just even Theo, the black dude who is like the hacker, and he's so charismatic as well. They all have distinct personalities. His estranged wife, McClane's estranged wife, Holly, I like just her as a character. She never comes off as a bitch to him. They could have gone that route where they're just completely on the bad. You get a moment with her where she still shows that she cares about him, that she misses him, that she wants him to be home with the kids for the holidays, and that's what makes me like her. And she's tough. She's willing to go up to Hans and say what needs to be done and try to help the hostages and do everything that needs to be done. As far as side characters go, you have the limo driver. This kid is so funny at the beginning where he's driving McClane and he's asking personal questions and he's playing Run DMC music, and it's just, he's likable, he's never too annoying. They don't try to shove him down on you to bring comedy into the film. No, McClane has that covered. Officer Al, played by Reginald Vell Johnson, who everybody knows this actor, everybody's seen this actor, whether it's Family Matters or any other movie where he's probably playing a cop, because he always plays a cop, and I really love him in this film. I love how he just kind of gets swooped up into it from a call, goes in there, figures out what's going on. I love the scenes of him and McClane on the walkie-talkie talking to each other, and he becomes McClane's rock. He becomes a guy that is just, McClane's relying on him to be there to talk to get him some help. I love the moments where they're talking about each other's kids and their families and how we need to meet each other one day. And all of that works so much for when the end of the movie where they do finally meet face to face. It's such a great moment. Really enjoy that character. Paul Gleason is the deputy who Officer Al is constantly dealing with. And so many characters in this film, between the cops or even the FBI agents when they come in, they're all know-it-alls. They all think they know what's going on. It's almost like if we didn't have more guys like McClane or Al, then we would be screwed when dealing with a situation like these. These cops know nothing, and it's comical. I'm sitting here laughing every time they get something wrong or they do something stupid, and it happens a lot. William Arterton plays this reporter, who I know you probably recognize him from Ghostbusters, playing kind of a dick character. Well, he does that here as well. As soon as he finds out about the situation, the first thing he wants to do is be the guy to get the story. Of course, he wants the scoop. And then when he gets more information about McClane, finds out about his kids, he goes to their house, goes to interview them, and sure, his character could have just been a goofy side character just to be there for whatever, but no, none of these characters are here for no reason. None of these characters are just here because they all play a part in the story. Him doing that with the kids, that lets Hans Gruber see it on the news and realize that Holly is McClane's wife, so he takes her hostage. Like, it all factors into the story. It all makes sense. It all flows with everything. I talked about McClane and just how he's the everyman, and you're seeing him just breaking down. The action scenes of him on the roof jumping off and the explosions. He's being shot at even by cops. Like, it's chaos. I love just how hard this is for him to do. You're really with him in these scenes. And last thing I guess I can talk about. I know it's a spoiler. But come on, if you haven't seen Die Hard, the original Die Hard by now, then what are you waiting for? What are you doing? Go watch it now. But the death of Hans Gruber. I love how McClane finally outsmarts him with the gun behind his back, shoots him, and him out the window. Gruber holding on to his wife, and how he's evil. As much as he knows he's about to die, he wants almost one last dastardly thing to kill him or kill his wife. He puts the gun out, and then when they drop him, the look on his face and seeing him fall from the plaza and fall to his death, it's so epic. It's so great. Everything about this movie is great. Everything about this movie works. As old as it is, it's as old as I am, and I could still pop this in today. It's still better than damn near all of the action movies that come out nowadays. They don't make movies like this anymore. That's for sure. I clearly love Die Hard. I can talk about it all damn day if I wanted to, but I will leave it at that. This movie is perfect. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too have seen Die Hard, and I hope you have. What do you think of it? Do you like it as much as I do? What's your favorite John McClane moment? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!